Hello, I am Laurie Letzo. I am your Biz Insight guide for QuickBooks Online. All right, I am here today to help you with QBO basics for accounts payable. So accounts payable for your small business would be items that you have to pay. So your vendors, you've got bills that you have to pay. So that is payables. Okay, this will be a two-part series, and within about 15-20 minutes you'll have a good understanding of what you need to do, basics on paying bills and what's involved with that. Okay, great. Well, let's get started here. So we are going to get into my screen share. We have a sample company open in QuickBooks Online, and that sample company is Ann's Advertising Agency. All right, so we're going to come over here and go to our plus icon, and we're going to focus on the vendors. The first thing is purchase order. Okay, so you have, this is a non-posting account. So for example, you're going to come in here and you're going to order your supplies, your book supplies, from one of your vendors, okay? And you're going to send this purchase order for, let's get it in here, and we will find something to add here. Let's add a new one, and we're going to add okay, we're just going to do a quick add there. And we're going to save and close that. All right, we were just creating a little item for us. We're not specifically getting into the product and services. This is just a basic overview. So we are ordering continuing education books, and we're going to order our 50 of them at our discounted rate, $2.50 per book. Okay, and we can save that. Now we can also, before we do that, we save it, and before we close this record, we can send it. So we can send this purchase order via email directly to our vendor. Okay, and it looks pretty professional, pretty nice. You can also go in the background, and we can show you that on later videos about customizing your forms for your purchase order. Okay, save and close. Now we've got the purchase order in there. Great. Okay, so now along comes a bill from our vendor, and it was Books by Bessie. Okay, so she has a purchase order. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add that purchase order to the bill. All right, this is not, this came up legal. Okay, we don't want that. We will delete that. And we are going with continuing education books. Okay, great. So basically what we just did is we linked that purchase order, which is a non-posting transaction. In other words, it doesn't affect your QuickBooks. It doesn't have any effect on your accounting, okay? You can have 1, 2, 5, 6, 7 purchase orders, okay? If you don't convert them into bills, that doesn't make them part of your accounting records. You don't owe the money until you create a bill, till you get a bill from it. That tells you that you've completed that transaction. All right. So we have terms, and we're going to say net 15. That's fine. And typically the vendor sends us an invoice number. So it's an invoice for them and it's a bill for us. So we put their invoice number in. Booked by Bessie, and that is her invoice. Okay. And we're going to close that. Great. So we've entered this as a bill. All right. Now we need to think, where did that bill go? We're going to go over here to our reports and just scroll down here. Okay. Who owes you? No. It's what you owe. So we're going to go to Accounts Payable Aging Summary. We're going to click on that. Okay. Now this is a sample company, and this shows us all the other items that we owe as of this date, August 17th, 2018. Okay, so this is our bill. Now remember, if we had a purchase order, it would not show up here. The only way it shows up in our Accounts Payable Aging Report is when it becomes a bill. Now when this bill gets paid, it's going to drop off this report because we don't owe it anymore. All right, great. So now you see how that works. I want to come over here and click on the plus icon, go to vendors, and now we want to pay the bill. All right. Now, there's different ways you can pay the bill. Standard is you're going to pay it from your checking account. These days where there's all kinds of reward points and, cash back and all kinds of bonuses with credit cards, I see a lot of businesses that pay with their business credit card. They get the points for it, and then they just write a check at the end of the month to pay the credit card off. So for this example, we're going to pay it from our checking account, okay? And we'll be a good steward here of receiving goods and services. So we'll pay it the same day that we receive the bill. All right. So we're going to pay this right here. Okay. Now, if we wanted to pay other bills at the same time, we're welcome to do that. Okay. It would just be like a batch check run. Okay. And it knows that we're going to start at 72. That is the last check that we ran in the system, and the sample company was check number 71. So it knows to forward to the next number. Okay, so we can say save and print. Okay, and then it tells us that we can go ahead and do the check from there. All right, great. And now you notice that it is off the Accounts Payable Aging Summary, which means we do not owe it anymore. So the big idea here is there's three things you have to remember. Okay. So when you're doing a purchase order, that's optional. Some businesses don't have purchase orders, okay? So you might just go right into enter bill, pay bill, okay? And that is totally good for your business, okay? Now I want to talk about another thing, and that's credit cards, okay? When you enter a credit card, you're going to come over here to expense. And so, for example, you can add your American Express, let's say American Airlines, all right. And you were paying it not from your American, okay, you were paying it from, you charged this on your Visa card. All right, that's the charge date. Okay, and then you would enter the transactions from your statement. Okay, so you can post those in here. These are transactions that you have charged on your business charge card. Etc., etc., and we'll add one more. Advertising, and that is okay. All right, so that would be an example of adding an expense, and then when you get your credit card, you would basically be able to match that up to what you've entered. Okay, so that's a way of doing that. There's other ways depending on situations with your business. That's just a simple way of quick overview of showing you what that is about. So we basically covered these three items: enter bill, pay bill. We also covered purchase order and expense. Okay, so we will cover more on the next part 2 video for accounts payable. All right, great. So let me bring us back here. And again, this concludes this part 1 of accounts payable. We'll be back shortly to show you parts 2 of accounts payable for QuickBooks Online Basics. All right, thanks again for joining us, and we will see you real soon.